20 Lok Sabha MPs walk out of Trinamool Congress. They merge with a party most of India has never heard of, the Nationalist Citizens Party of India. They write to the Speaker. They claim a separate bloc. They announce support for the NDA, and some of them are now saying, out loud, on camera, we are the real Trinamool Congress. Stop. Let's just sit with that for a second. Because right now, half the political commentary in this country is acting like this is settled. Like TMC has been divided. Like a cake. 20 MPs get a slice. Mamata gets a slice. Done. Next topic. It is not that simple. And the people saying it is that simple either don't understand the constitution or are hoping you don't. So let's do the thing nobody else is doing today. Let's actually work out who owns Trinamool Congress. Here's a thought experiment. Tomorrow, 70% of Apple's senior management walks into a press conference. They announce they're leaving. They say the company has lost its way. No innovation, no vision, corporate dictatorship. And then they say, we are the real Apple. Do they get the logo, the factories, the patents, the stock, the next iPhone? Obviously not. They're just 70% of some guys who used to have good parking spots. Apple is not its senior managers. Apple is its shareholders, its trademarks, its supply chain, its brand, its customers, its entire ecosystem. Now replace Apple with Trinamool Congress and replace senior managers with 20 members of parliament. Suddenly the press conference doesn't look quite as historic, does it? Now, everyone is obsessed with one number, 2/3. Cross 2/3 and apparently you win the lottery. You become the party. You take the symbol, you take everything. Except that's not what the law says. That's not even close to what the law says. Here's what actually happened. Before 2003, India's anti-defection law had a loophole. 1/3 of any party's legislators could split off and claim to be a separate group. Governments fell on this. MLAs jumped parties like it was a video game. So Parliament passed the 91st Constitutional Amendment and it removed the split provision completely. What remains today is only this. If 2/3 of a legislature party agree to merge with another political party, those members may avoid disqualification. Read that again. May avoid disqualification. Not become the party. Not inherit the symbol. Not take the organization. Just you personally might not get kicked out of your seat. That's it. That's the whole magic trick. 20 people are not avoiding a haircut. They're avoiding expulsion. Those are very different prizes. But Shinde did it. Shiv Sena. Okay, let's deal with that. Eknath Shinde didn't wake up, count MLAs and get handed Shiv Sena by a calculator. He had MLAs. He had district units. He had organizational machinery already shifting with him. And even then, it took the Election Commission, multiple rounds of litigation, and the Supreme Court itself laying down something crucial in the process. A legislature party and a political party are not the same thing. So if even Shinde, with organizational backing, needed years and institutions to settle this, what exactly do 20 Lok Sabha MPs think they've achieved by merging with a party called NCPI that, until last week, most of Bengal couldn't have named? Because here's the question nobody's asking. Outside Bengal, be honest with yourselves. How many of you had heard the name Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar before last week? Exactly. TMC is not Kakoli Ghosh. TMC is not a WhatsApp group of 20 Lok Sabha MPs who suddenly remembered they have principles. And TMC is, and I cannot stress this enough, absolutely, definitely, in no version of this universe, Yusuf Pathan. TMC is 3 decades of street politics, block presidents, panchayat workers, ward committees in districts you've never heard the name of. Decades of one woman's face on every wall in rural Bengal. None of that is sitting in Bhupender Yadav's drawing room right now. And here's where it gets genuinely uncomfortable for the rebels. If TMC is really finished, if it's really a family business, if Abhishek really destroyed everything you believe in, then resign. Go to the people who voted for you in 2024. Tell them, I'm sorry, the symbol you voted for no longer represents what I believe. Fight an election on a BJP ticket. Win it. That's what Suvendu Adhikari did. You can think whatever you want about him, but he resigned, he fought, he won. That's a mandate. What's happening instead is 20 MPs trying to keep the seat while disowning the ticket they won it on. That's not a principled exit. That's wanting the furniture after announcing you no longer live in the house. Now, Abhishek Banerjee. For years, the assumption inside TMC was simple. Mamata today, Abhishek tomorrow. That assumption is currently sitting in a CID office answering questions about signatures, and in an ED office answering questions about something else entirely. Was Abhishek responsible for everything currently going wrong in TMC? No, that's lazy. But politically, and politics runs on perception, not fairness, every single complaint inside this party right now somehow lands at his door. The IPAC model, the centralization, the no dissent complaints you've heard from half the rebels this week. The succession plan didn't fail because of one case. It failed because authority requires legitimacy. And right now, nobody inside TMC is willing to grant him that. The smartest thing TMC could do right now is let him disappear from the frame for a while. Let the storm pass over someone else's head. So, 20 MPs think they're the future. Abhishek is busy answering questions about the present. And there's one person in this entire story behaving like neither of those things has been decided yet. Mahua Moitra. She's been everywhere this week, calling the rebels traitors with yellow-stained pants, telling all 19 of them, repeatedly, publicly, resign and contest on a BJP ticket. Let's see what big heroes you are. Now, is some of that personal ambition? Of course it is. This is politics, not a monastery. But here's what's actually interesting. Mahua Moitra has spent years building something most of these rebels never bothered to build. A personal brand. National recognition. A persona that exists independent of the TMC symbol. If she wanted to defect, she could defect tomorrow and she'd survive it. Raghav Chaddha survived it. She's not staying because she has nowhere else to go. She's staying because she's made a bet. And the bet is this. The rebels are behaving as if the verdict has already arrived. As if Bengal is decided. As if Mamata is finished. As if the future belongs to whoever leaves the room first. Mahua's entire posture says, the trial isn't over. And before you roll your eyes, history actually backs her up. In 1977, Indira Gandhi lost an election so badly, people wrote her political obituary in real time. She came back. The BJP, for decades, used to lose its security deposit in seats across this country. Today, it's the most dominant political machine in Indian history. 15 years in power is not forever. Nothing in this country's politics is forever. The Indian voter, a rickshaw puller, a shopkeeper, anyone, is more politically alert than every strategist currently giving you a press conference. Defectors always believe they're leaving at exactly the right moment. History suggests most of them are wrong about the right moment part. They're usually just early. So here's where this actually leaves us. The rebels think 20 MPs and a merger certificate hand them a 30-year-old political movement. Abhishek was supposed to inherit that movement institutionally, and right now, institutions are the last thing working in his favor. And Mahua Moitra is the only person in this entire story behaving as if Trinamool Congress still has something worth inheriting. A party doesn't die when MPs leave. It dies when the workers leave, when the voters leave, when the memory leaves. None of those things were on the merger form. You were watching Fault Lines. I'm Abhijit.